Cool. I can hear you guys and you can hear me, right? All right, I'm all set. Thank you. Thanks for checking. Help me.
The guy who's in charge of it in the city was like, well,
Hey Emily, do you think we should go ahead? Oh, it looks like Abigail just signed on actually. Hi Abigail.
Good morning. Let me turn on my headset here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, not with my microphone. Hold on. Headphones. Is this better?
Yes, I hear you.
Great. Are we ready to get started?
Yeah.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Sunny Tampa, Florida. Aren't we lucky? Thanks for hopping on to the CTST meeting, March 26th, virtual. We want to get through introductions. Lori's going to help us with the introductions.
Sounds good. Hello, everyone. My name is Lori Paleo with JMT. Just to let everyone know, this meeting is being recorded, and if you are not speaking, please mute your mics. So going down the list, Alexandra Arvales,
Yes, good morning. I'm from HCSO, the grant coordinator.
Susan Boda,
Good morning,
Yeah.
all. Susan Boda with Banish.
Brenton Mosher,
Brenton Mosher, USF Cutter.
Corey Norris,
Mr. Norris stepped away, but he is here. Also, Ruby Shannon is here.
perfect. Hillsborough County Schools, correct?
10-4. I mean, yes, ma'am.
Okay. David O'Neill, I believe it is.
Yes, Dave O'Neill, Safety Office, Department of the Air Force, MacDill.
David Hubbard,
Yeah, I'm David Hubbard. I'm with Way Engineering. I'm just listening in.
Emily Hinsdale,
Hi, Emily Hinsdale with Sidewalk Stompers.
Cora Farheen,
Good morning. I'm Swara Farheen from Atkins Realis, Tampa.
Abigail Flores, she is with Hillsborough County. Kim Ford,
Yes, I'm with City of Temple Terrace Engineering.
Fred
I was
Baxter.
muted there. I was listening to you, Lori, and I muted myself. Good morning, Hillsborough County, Abigail Flores.
Perfect. Fred Baxter,
Fred Baxter, City of Plant City, Traffic Operations Manager.
Gina Torres,
Good morning. Gina Torres with the Hillsborough Transportation Planning Organization.
Gregory Vickers,
Yes, from University of South Florida Police Department.
Michelle Harris,
Hi there. Good morning. This is Michelle Harris from AAA.
there's also a Heather Harris.
Hello, I'm occupational safety from the Air Force with Mr. O'Neill.
Eric Henry,
Hey, good morning, y'all. Eric Henry with FDOT District 7 Safety.
James Hutchinson,
James Hutchinson, City of Plant City Traffic Operations.
Jason Jackman,
Hey, Jason Jackman with Cutter.
Jim Hartwell,
Good morning, Jim Hartwell, Element Engineering Group.
Jim Reiser,
Morning, everybody. Jim Reiser, District 7 Law Enforcement Liaison.
Janine Lawrence,
Good morning, Janine Lawrence with Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Dawn Lewis,
Good morning, Dawn Lewis, Tampa General Hospital Trauma Program.
Rashid Arste,
Good morning, Mashid Araste, American Quality Consultants, FDOT Safety Ambassador.
Matthew Belmonte,
Hey, good morning. Matt Belmonte, Gresham Smith.
Melinda Nelson,
Morning, Melinda Nelson, Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, Grants.
Melissa Kinchelo,
Good morning, Melissa Kinchlow with the Crossing Guard Unit, Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office.
Michael White,
Michael White, Sergeant with the Tampa Police Department DUI Unit.
Alexandria Roeder,
Good morning, Tampa General Hospital, the Trauma Program.
Ruby Shannon,
This is Corey Norris with Hillsborough County Public Schools. Ruby stepped away for a second.
Sarah Linares.
Morning, Sarah Linares with Way Engineering and Transportation Planner.
Sergeant Carmack. So Sergeant Carmack is on the line with Plant City PD. Michael Taylor. Michael Taylor is on the line. Is there anyone else that I did not call who is currently on the phone call? Okay, Abigail, I believe that is everybody.
Great. We have a great group today. We're going to have a very productive meeting. So did everybody get a chance to review the February minutes? I'd ask, is there any proposed changes or additions, deletions? Hearing none, I call for a motion to approve the minutes.
This is Jim Reiser. I'll motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Michael White, I'll second.
Perfect. Thank you.
Great. The minutes are approved. Thank you. So now we're going to get into the membership reports. We're going to start with law enforcement, talking about enforcement and crash statistics. So if one of the PDs or could kick it off, that'd be great.
Michael White with Tampa Police. I can discuss. I don't have the crash statistics. I thought Sergeant Sherman would be here today, but I do have some DUI statistics that I'll go over. From year to date, we're at just over 420 DUI arrests for the year, which is pretty good numbers. We did a operation throughout spring break throughout the city, which resulted in 115 DUI arrests just over spring break alone. We also did an underage drinking with ID cards and things like that in Soho and Ybor City, which was very successful. We had 6 arrests for fake IDs and possession of minors with alcohol in Ybor. And we had 18 arrests for fake IDs and underage drinking in Soho. So that's going good. Crash statistics for the DUI side of it are down overall for the city. I don't have the percentage in front of me because I thought those crash statistics would be brought in by the motor sergeant, but apparently he's tied up.
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, you are here? Okay. You have the crash statistic then, and I'll let you handle that side of it.
Demetrius Sherman, TPD Motors. We're at 7 fatalities for the year so far. We're down 7 from the same time last year, so we're looking good overall. And we also had a initiative over the spring break from 315 through 323. We issued over 312 speeding citations, 220 warnings, total for 578 total citations and warnings combined.
Okay. Does anybody in the group have any comments? I have a couple of questions. What are the hot spots for the TPD DUIs arrests? You mentioned hundreds of arrests.
Yeah, so most of our arrests come out of the Soho area, South Tampa area, and the Ybor area. That's our main 2 areas. I think the highest one right now is out of the Ybor, which is our Sector F area, and then Soho. Like I said, those are the 2 biggest ones.
Okay. And then you said about to the TPD Motors Sergeant that there were speeding tickets and warnings. When you pull them over, what is a typical, how much over the speed limit are they typically going, do you find?
Anywhere over 10 to 15 miles over the speed limit.
And that's like on the arterials, or are they?
Yeah,
like
for spring break,
down?
we for spring break, we normally concentrated on 275 Memorial Highway, Courtney Campbell Causeway, and the Howard Franklin Bridge.
Okay. Thank you for that update, gentlemen. Okay, Ely, can you provide your update, please? Are they here, Lori?
Brenton Mosher, do you have an update on Ely?
Sure. So the enhanced law enforcement engagement is in its last week. The enforcement period ends on March 31st. And so we will have all our details compiled by then. I should have some final stats by the next meeting. And then the ceremony is in the first week of June, where we will distribute the equipment. And we have already gotten the information. We need to start rolling out a scope for our next year of Ely enforcement. So hopefully that will kick off sometime over the summer.
All right, thank you.
I see Gina has her hand up. She has a question.
Great.
I do. I guess it could have been after crash summary, but since I've interrupted, I have a question for our law enforcement, or really anyone that knows this, but I think it's more specific to our law enforcement attendees. At our TPO board meeting, several board of county commissioners had kind of went off on a little tangent on a topic that wasn't on their agenda, but it was related to, we were discussing operations of signals, timing, and they got stuck on talking about when people block the intersection. And I don't know if it initially started out just being concerned about congestion and how that kind of causes everyone to be confused about what to do, you know, blocking the box or whatever. I think a lot of it personally has to do with how long our signal timing is. Like, people are waiting really long time. If we had shorter signal timings, I think that would work better. But we had to follow up on this, and we were going to search some of the citations, you know, through our different means of getting that information, and wanted to know what you would cite a person for. We were wondering if it was failure to use designated lane. So if this is something, do you guys, I just need feedback on how you would cite a person for blocking an intersection. And the second thing is, are there certain locations across, it probably is every intersection, but if there's certain places that you think this is really happening more than others. So that first question was, how would you citation or whatever for that?
This is Demetrius German from TPD. It'll be just that citation blocking the intersection. That's what we'll cite them for.
There's actually okay, I didn't know there was something called that in like the law enforcement report or whatever the long form has or short form has, blocking the intersection. Okay, I had no idea. Cool.
The citation?
Yes.
Yes, it has that statute.
Oh, perfect. Okay. And
Gina, it's Matt from Gresham Smith. If you want to look it up, I think it's 316-2061. It's the statute.
Oh my gosh, this is great. 316-2061. Wonderful. And then just anybody else, law enforcement, does that sound like what you would do? I see other hands raised. So I guess the only other thing is, does anyone of you guys have an intersection that really stands out, or it really could happen just anywhere? My gut feeling, but.
So this is Demetrius German again. Downtown on Kennedy is a prime area during morning rush hour traffic that we can end up with a couple of blocks that have blocked intersections. And mainly that's just due to people not, they're trying to beat the light, really. And they don't have enough room to get to the other side and clear the intersection.
You're making me laugh because that was one of the commissioners, I will not say who it was, who said that it happened to them. And they were like, but it wasn't my fault because, whatever people, I don't know, whatever the situation was, but that was actually the same roadway that they mentioned. Okay, but that really helps me. Thank you, everyone, for chiming in. Appreciate it.
Jim, did you have a question or comment?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Jim Reiser, District 7 LEL. Just adding on to the crash stats, we've been working with DHSMV for the LEO program to try and get some more up-to-date stats that are real time. So as of the 4th, it looks like in Hillsborough County, 7,000 crashes approximately been worked by all the law enforcement agencies countywide. And then right now we're at 19 fatalities countywide. Now, take that, that information may not be completely accurate, maybe waiting on some information to come in. But as of right now, that's where we stand countywide. I can tell you that all through the Tampa Bay area, these agencies did a great job with the spring break initiative. Looking at the press releases from especially FHP, I didn't see any, discernible patterns or anything like that. And 100 arrests over a weekend, that's impressive from Tampa Police. So we appreciate everybody's efforts there, but that's kind of where we're at so far with stats for the county for the year.
Great, thank you. Lori, are you going to share the crash map?
Yes.
Great.
So we finally have all of 2024 fatal crashes. So from January 1st to December 31st of 2024, there were 174 fatal crashes. This is unofficial data, so the data will update throughout 2025. Any additional crashes will get added to the system. So that number might change. At the last CTST from January 1st to December 16th, there were 157 fatal crashes. So there's been 17 new fatal crashes added since the last map. It includes 1 head-on, 1 right angle, 1 rear end, 3 bicycle, 2 other, 1 run off the road, 6 left turn, and 3 pedestrian fatal crashes. And 1 crash was removed due to it being a non-traffic related fatality. So as you can see, pedestrians represent the second highest fatal crash type in Hillsborough County. So I'm actually going to switch it up a little bit since we're through 2024. I wanted to show you our 2024 safety facts at a glance sheet. This is for all of District 7. So the arrows represent whether or not there were more crashes or less crashes from 2023. So as you could see in all of District 7, we are down in total crashes, severe injury crashes, and fatalities in District 7. And then zooming into Hillsborough County, we are also down for total crashes, severe injuries, and fatalities for 2024 compared to 2023. And then when you break down District 7 by emphasis area, you could see the different trends. We are up in distracted driving, severe injuries, and as well as distracted all crashes. So this shows the different types of emphasis areas based on fatalities, severe injuries, and all crashes in District 7. Roadway systems where crashes occurred, you could see that fatalities represent 52% of cities and county streets. Yes, Dawn, I could also share this as well. I think it's also in the District 7 newsletter as well. And we have like driver age and gender. You could see there are more male-related crashes. So yeah, it just shows a lot of different statistics based on emphasis area, counties, district, all that information. So a lot of good comparisons here for the year. Jim, you have a question? I think. Jim Reiser, did you have a question or no?
Not so much a question, but just kind of add a little bit of info what you were talking about. Okay. There's 2 bills in the state legislature right now. One deals with distracted driving that would make it a Florida hands-free law. That has passed some of the subcommittees and is still going through the process. That's something that we hope passes. That is a difficult statute for law enforcement to enforce the way it's currently written. There's a lot of loopholes there, and it's hard to get a guilty verdict sustained in a hearing on that for law enforcement statewide. The other one that caught my interest was there's a super speeder bill. I don't know exactly where that's at, but that deals with the people that are 30 or 50 miles an hour over the speed limit. It enhances the penalties on that. Since COVID, there's been a big uptick. It's gotten better because traffic volumes don't allow the speeding as much, but people going way over the speed limit. I know that before I retired, and I'm sure Sergeant German can attest, and Sergeant White, we get people routinely over 100 miles an hour on the roads around the Tampa Bay area. And at those speeds, the crashes aren't survivable generally. So just, there's a couple bills we're watching, trying to get them pushed through. We'll see how it goes, and hopefully we can get some traction on those by the end of the session. I'll yield back.
Thank you. And as Gina Torres shared in the chat, here's the District 7 newsletter, and it's inside of here. There's some great information in this newsletter as well.
Was there something on, what about the lane repurposing statute? Can we talk about that? Does any law enforcement online know about that statute? Or perhaps we could get a presentation on how that impacts lane repurposing statute 334.61.
It's probably more engineering, I would think.
Yeah, that's more of an engineering thing, Abigail. The law enforcement, you're referring to, there is a bill to try and get the left lane for passing only. The reason why it failed last year is because there's just not enough roadway for the volume we have. And in certain jurisdictions around the state, you're going to have a lane that is where, officers are not going to enforce that. If the traffic volumes are high and somebody says, well, this guy's in the left lane or this driver's in the left lane, there's just times we can't enforce that. So I mean, that's just the nature. When you have a growing state, third largest in the union, we're going to have these problems with traffic volume. Lane repurposing, if you're talking about the bike lanes that are, the roadways that are being repurposed for the bicycle lanes, that's something that truthfully, I mean, I don't remember having a lot of impact, and I haven't heard in my other counties, law enforcement being involved in those conversations until later in the planning stages. And it's pretty much, can you guys enforce this? And, that alone presents enforcement issues. So, but that really is an engineering thing that hopefully, somebody can touch on here.
Yeah, that's a great point. Lori, maybe can we add that as a follow-up item, maybe within the next few months, if one of the agencies that have engineering could do a presentation on that statute, how they anticipate it's going to impact their projects. So we can talk more with the agencies offline. All right, thanks for putting this together. I have a question, Lori, on the crashes. Can we go to the one where, yeah, that one. Where's the fatal and severes up and down? I think it's page 1. Okay, so that circle in the left, like middle left, or maybe middle, total crashes up 4,900, severes up 278. Sometimes I see trends at Hillsborough County with the fatals dropping down to severity of severe injuries. So it's not like, oh, we're decreasing fatal and severes, we're winning the battle. But sometimes they are moving, like your severes might become more fatal. Those crash types, right? These crash types, one year they might move from fatal to severe. So if we could look at that maybe next time or in the future to see how these trends are moving and see if we're really making progress on the fatal and severes. That's my comment.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you. Looks great, Lori. Thank you for this. Okay, I believe we're going to go to the health agencies and safety group, AAA. Glad you're on the call with us. Do you have an update? What great work are you doing?
Good morning. We have lots of things. We actually just got back from up in the Northeast Florida side of the state. We just got back from a huge Touch a Truck event that was phenomenal, and the partners and just the participation and everything. So we have some things scheduled in the next few months. but we'll keep an eye out for some of the activity here. We are working to try to, to try to get some information out regarding the scooter crashes and safety for scooters and things like that, especially on college campuses throughout the state.
Okay, so the scooter crashes on campuses, are those pretty frequent, I guess? And what is it, like severity, or more like don't do that, it makes people uncomfortable, or what's
Yeah,
the
I
risk
mean,
with those?
that's what we're finding, it's like when we focus group test this, we're finding it hard. College students don't want to, we all know this, don't do that, don't do this. And asking them to wear a helmet is really hard to do. So getting that message that means something to them and gets them to take action, especially on the education route. In the college campuses, it could just be a matter of they don't know what the speed is and what the speed limit is, and just some basic safety tips. You know, there was a fatality with a USF student that happened early last year. So we have been working with the family of that son to try to really get some information out. But it's really happening across the state. There was one at UF. There was one at FIU a couple of years ago. So really trying to do what we can.
Now, is that like a scooter versus ped or a scooter versus driver?
The one at USF was scooter versus driver.
Okay. All right. Maybe have you guys considered like signage on the campuses, like walk zone or slow or pavement markings?
We
know they have
have.
those.
We've actually been through the mom, we've been, trying to figure out what we can do with that. She did have a conversation with Brenton. So more to come. It's in the very early stages right now, but yes, definitely want to get something going for that.
Okay, great. Thank you for that update. Brenton, you have your hand up, sir.
Yeah, I was just going to say, getting any kind of pavement markings on campus takes a huge undertaking, and it's very difficult to get the people on board. You may remember several years ago, we did a temporary green bike lane, and they promptly tried to pressure wash it off like the very next day after our event.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
I remember.
Okay, thank you. Oh, we have another hand. Jason.
Yeah, hey, I just have a quick update on, I've been speaking with Michelle, the mother, whose son was killed in the fatal crash with an e-scooter and a driver. And been going back and forth with her a little bit. She just wants to, help find solutions and be a part of it. And, some background research on what other universities are doing and other cities is they're creating kind of these pedestrian zones. The only problem is, as far as speed and e-scooters, the only problem is a lot of these geofence zones and pedestrian zones are connected to shared programs where they can be geofenced and the speed can be controlled. So I think now that the e-scooters are out there and they're readily available to be purchased. I guess there was a news article yesterday on how cheap some of these e-scooters are in the stores. A $1,200 e-scooter is now going for $250, which is affordable, but they're also 30 to 40 miles per hour vehicles. So we're definitely seeing more crashes with students who aren't used to riding these fast vehicles, and usually these crashes do occur with the students who aren't used to driving the vehicles, and maybe it's their first time riding them. That's where we see the crashes occur. But there's a lot of need for this, and especially at university campuses, there are some universities that are banning e-scooters, and there are other universities that are embracing e-scooters. So I think they're not going away because they are readily available and very affordable. So yeah, something has to be done as far as safety. There is the discussion of signage, but I think having a speed zone within a university area where there's high pedestrian traffic is a step forward as far as safety. And then safety education needs to grow and continue at the university level, whether they're hearing it or not. It just need to continue it. Yeah, so it's definitely something we can all be involved with and learn from and see those best practices around the country. So yeah, that's a quick update. And again, I'm happy to help.
Yeah, that's a great point. I myself ride my e-scooter everywhere, and I think, volunteer education is good, like a half an hour, even like at a, a farmer's market or a street fair, or hey, come here, here's a information packet or, flyer on top 10 scooter safety, because we're on our own out there. We're not bikes, we're not cars. So I know I can attest to how challenging it is to be safe on a scooter. But even what about DOT's messaging? They've did messaging target schools in the past, like wear your seatbelt and slow down. They had them on YouTube that they were showing us. Is it possible to coordinate to get some safety messaging with FDOT?
That's
Do we
something that
have
we're
a setup?
looking. Yeah, I'm here. That's something that we are looking into, how to better tailor our messaging for scooters and other micromobility devices. I think there's been a little bit of a delay because there's still a conversation happening at the statewide level of how we even, begin to define these things. How can we handle the enforcement side of it? But we have some kind of limited resources more geared towards mopeds and those kinds of scooter users, but we are in the process of trying to develop some additional resources that we can share specifically for e-scooters and micromobility.
Great, thanks, Henry. David, you have your hand up, sir.
Yeah, so I was just curious, is it specifically for like privately owned ones? Or is it also the companies that offer them as like a service thing? Because I was just thinking that the geofencing might be challenging if you have all these different companies producing they're just producing them that are faster than what the legal speeds are. That's all. Yeah.
AAA, do you want to comment on that? Are they personal scooters?
They are personal scooters, and and it's funny that you should mention that, because it's right. Like, look at all the ones that you can rent. You go downtown Tampa and you can just take a scooter and be on your way. So there's great possibility of so much that we can do, to really make so many people safer. So engaging with those manufacturers and things like that. There's so many things. So yeah, so anything that AAA can do, and we'd love to partner with anybody that's interested, and just get that message out. We're all about it. The mom used to work at AAA, so we're very close to her, and she's part of the AAA family. So we, we hurt for her, but especially because we know her. She was actually in my department, so I especially know her. Um, so anything that we can do to help or to partner or collaborate to get the word
Yeah.
out, to be a part of meetings, anything that it takes, we're there. So just please know we're committed to that.
Yeah, maybe we could have a workshop, like with some interested CTST members, where we could brainstorm how to, make e-scooters safer for riders and non-riders. Okay, thank you. Wonderful discussion. Jason, is your hand still up or you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's still up. No, real quick, I'm sorry. Just based on Eric's point about education, we do have a peer-to-peer education program at USF and other universities around the state. And we do have a little bit of a education component with micromobility. It's not too much because it's like, well, how do we educate? What are the points of education for micromobility, whether it's e-scooters or e-bikes? Bottom line is that it's speed and managing that speed, but how do you educate on that if the vehicles are going fast besides, hey, watch your speed? So for the most part, our education side of e-scooters or e-bikes is, hey, follow the bicycle laws as an e-scooter rider or e-bike rider. And that's really all we're doing right now is education, but more needs to be done for sure.
Okay, great point. Thank you.
I just want to add to answer a question that was asked. On USF campus, there is no shared scooter service. It is all privately owned scooters. And I believe UT, they don't allow them to reach, the shared services aren't allowed to reach on their campus either. And so it's definitely the privately owned scooters that, at least on USF campus, we are seeing.
Okay, thank you for that. Tampa General, do you have an update, please?
Sure. Good morning. Good morning. I just have a couple slides to share. Oh, hold on. Let's see. Can you see it? No. All right. Sorry, it's not in presentation mode, but so we are doing Stop the Bleed upcoming at the Tampa General Outpatient Center for community members. So this can assist with first responders at post-crash care. And this is open to anybody. If you're interested, I can put the sign up in the chat. We are also doing just a skills station of how to put on a tourniquet with the Junior League. That's going to be next to Community Hope Park. And then we'll actually be at the USF campus helping their pre-med students learn this vital skill. So all exciting things coming up for prevention. And then I'd like to just do a little spotlight on some of the post-crash care education that we've been giving. So this is for our rural facilities. We've got a grant with the Florida Center for EMS to sponsor for rural trauma team development classes. And so we actually took this up to Baker County, which is not in District 7, but it's kind of nice that we are collaborating with different parts of the hospital to improve their trauma care, because it's a well-known fact that depending on your location of your trauma, will determine how fast you get care and the quality of care that you get. So really just elevating the Florida's trauma care. And so these are some of the students that we taught. And we're going to be doing it next week and the week after, and then one more in about a month. Finally, I was so happy to attend the bike with the mayor at Temple Terrace, and I gave away 28 helmets. So, and that wouldn't have been possible without the CTST group encouraging me to get my certified helmet fitter, Tina Russo, and so thank you. I appreciate it so much, and that's all I have for today.
Great. Thank you. All right. All right, statewide coalition updates.
The Teen Safe Driving Coalition is going to be held tomorrow and Friday in Orlando. So I don't have anything from my side, but hopefully by next meeting, we should have some information from that coalition. And then from the Safe Mobility for Life Coalition, which I believe meets sometime early in April.
All right. Thank you. Teen drivers. Okay, that's what you had mentioned. Okay, Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office crossing guards, boots on the ground. Michelle.
Good morning. We just completed an annual review of the school crossing locations over spring break. That was all 333 locations. So, for anyone that works in maintenance, for the county or any of the city jurisdictions, that's why you'll see an abundance of work orders for painting the crosswalk, sign repair, and such. And that's all.
Okay, thank you. Hillsborough County Public Schools transportation.
Good morning. This is Corey Norris. At this time, I don't have any updates. If you have any questions for me, I'll be happy to answer.
So are all the buses fitted with cameras now and they're functioning?
Yes, they are. We're still receiving new buses daily that we've ordered, and as they come in, they're being fitted with the cameras as well. So yes, we're pretty much at 100%.
Awesome, congrats. And then the speed enforcement cameras in the schools. Is that, are they implementing that? Have they started? Yes, they've started
They
putting them
have,
at.
and in fact, I have about one of our drivers was going above the speed limit in the school zone, and I have a ticket on my desk right now, and I'm getting ready to issue to the driver. So they are in full effect.
Did we install them at all planned schools, or it's rolling out this year?
I'm really not sure. That's not part of my wheelhouse. I just so happen to have a violation on my desk from one of those cameras.
All right. Okay, great. We'll go to engineering planning. FDOT, do you have any updates for us, please?
Yeah, I have a couple things I can mention. The big one is obviously that the Howard Franklin Bridge is now open, the new span, which will be the new southbound heading into St. Pete from Tampa. That is open for business. The express lanes and the bike lane / shared use path that will exist on that bridge are not open yet. I think they're anticipating 2026 sometime for those features to open. So keep your eyes peeled for that, but it is open to regular traffic. I got to drive home on it yesterday, so that's pretty cool. The other engineering item I have is US 301 at McIntosh. We just had a new traffic signal installed that is now operational there. That is part of a project that also added a signal at Stacy Road at 301. And then we are going to be installing an overhead flashing beacon at Harney Road in 301, again, as a part of the same project. I don't really have anything else on engineering, but I can mention a couple of just educational kind of things as well. Construction Career Days is being held today, this afternoon, at the Hillsborough State Fairgrounds. So we have a learning lab that we're hosting. We'll have some high school students come out and take some quizzes on safety and win some safety prizes, some good stuff like that. And then the one other thing I wanted to mention is that next month is Work Zone Awareness Month for the entire month of April. And there is a coordinated Work Zone Safety Awareness Week. I believe that's the week of the 21st. So if anybody has anything that they're planning for that month or for that week, please let us know if there's any way that we can assist or support you in those efforts, because work zones have been a difficult emphasis area for District 7 these last few years. So we want to do anything we can to help spread awareness.
Great. And the Courtney Campbell bike route, I heard that is open. Can you verify that? Because it was damaged in the hurricanes.
I've not heard anything on that, but I can check and provide an update to you.
Okay, great. All right. Are you guys done doing the study for the mid-block pedestrian signals, or is that ongoing study?
I believe that study is still ongoing. Yeah, I think there's a pretty significant. They did before data. They did some like immediately after construction, and I think the after data collection is going to be ongoing for a while. I can try to talk to our bike ped coordinator and some other folks and see if they have just a general update that we can provide on that, though, for the benefit of the group.
Great, thanks. City of Tampa, engineering and planning. Update, please. Is there, nobody's on from City of Tampa. Plant City, Red.
Good morning. Just a couple updates really. So we actually have a new transportation planner getting ready to start with us. So once that person goes through the onboarding and everything, we're gonna add them to the group here. So they'll be a part of the discussions in the committee. Aside from that, we just went out to bid with new resurfacing efforts. It's going to include 274 segments of roadway. Now, the majority of those roadways within the city are roughly, less than a half a mile in segment, but pretty good effort that we're doing. We're trying to focus on small residential areas and stuff like that. Being over the past few years, we've kind of tackled a lot of the larger areas. And then also we have another project that's going out to bid. It's going to be the resurfacing of James L. Redmond from Alsabrook all the way to Alexander. Now that will actually include ADA and pedestrian upgrades along with that project. And then in our traffic operations last week, we just completed the signalization rebuild of James L. Redmond and Mackey Road. So all in all, other than our smart mobility connected project that we are ongoing with, we're probably about 20% complete with it. We're hoping to receive the rest of the material sometime late April, early May, and we should be 100% complete sometime late summer. And what that's going to include is traffic signal cabinets, RSUs, and preemption priority devices at all the remaining intersections to mirror the I-4 frame project. So once this is complete, the entire Plant City will be completed with all the connected vehicle technology and the preemption priority systems.
All right, thank you for that. Will you guys be including the POEB, so those flashing beacons that activate during power outages on your signals?
Yes, we are looking to start a capital improvement project for the POEBs. We are just waiting for we're going to do the new design that doesn't include the extra one section signal head out on the line. We're waiting for I know the new double conversion LED is currently in the Terrell right now, being evaluated. So once that is completed and put on the APL, then we're going to start our project. That way we can just utilize the existing signal heads that are up there and not have to add any more infrastructure.
Okay, great. Were you able to get help? I put you in contact with the Hillsborough County manager for resurfacing. Did you get the information you needed?
So I have not heard anything back from anybody. I know our city manager's office had spoke a little bit with Greg Hordell about the surfacing about the pavement situation out on Park Road. I don't know what the outcome is. I was told that there's a potential that Hillsborough County is going to approach FDOT during the resurfacing efforts on the north part of Park Road, and possibly try to include the southern portion of Park Road during those efforts, and then provide reimbursement back to FDOT. But I haven't, that was just verbal. I haven't heard anything else regarding that. But I will tell you the situation is worsening, and with this upcoming rainy season, it's definitely going to be a maintenance nightmare for Hillsborough County.
Okay. Well, yeah, if you want to check in with that email contact that I provided.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank you. We don't have the TPO, the fabulous TPO. Do we have an update, Gina? What's going on your neck of the woods?
Oh, okay, thanks. I had put it in the chat that I suggest maybe that be a bullet. That makes sense to have it here. Anyway, gosh, Emily probably knows even more because she's one of the stakeholders, but we have, maybe you are too, Abigail, but we're studying Manhattan Avenue, a visioning study, kind of a higher level, not like down to where do we need this crosswalk, but what does the community want that roadway to look like from Gandy all the way to, gosh, Henderson, I think it goes to, but we'll have, it's pretty early on in the study, so maybe we can bring some updates to this group as it goes further. One other study we're doing, Fred, I don't know if you knew, but we're trying to develop a connection, a trail connection from like downtown Plant City over to the eventual Sun Trail that's along the bypass canal. So kind of just looking at some east-west connections,
Yeah,
where those could be. And actually, the survey went live yesterday. So, I'm going to put that in this link. And if you have any interest in weighing in on the types of trails that people would like to see, do they want to connect to parks, or would they rather connect to a school or a store? Those kinds of questions, I think, are part of that survey. So that's kicking off, and we'll have more information as the year goes on both of those.
Okay.
Great, thank you. So the county is having a public service day. It's here. We've all been waiting for it. March the 29th from 8 to 1. So you may see your favorite county staff and public. If you venture out that way, we invite you to come, stop by. What else we got going on here? I know everybody will be pumped on the line that Hillsborough County is updating our Vision Zero action plan. And we're so excited. We are going to get the NTP very soon, notice to proceed. And then we will make sure that we give the CTST front row ticket to what we're doing and to weigh in on what we're doing. So look for that in the future, near future. We also started design for our Safe Streets for All project. So as you know, we got a grant, just like Tampa and just like the TPO, that we got a grant to design and construct 22 projects in underserved communities, and they're all vulnerable roadway user projects, and a couple of Vision Zero for good balance. So we started design on those, which means, and we have money to construct them. So after design, we're going to construct, we're going to start community engagement for these projects. Some already had some community engagements. We're going to continue it through the construction phase. And then I manage the safety mobility programs, and my group has over 80 projects that we're doing project development in 10 safety programs. So plenty of work for those consultants on the line. Some of you I am working with already. But those projects, why are we doing this? Well, we saw the crash statistics, and we saw that, fatal and severes in some areas are up. But we know that we have systemic problems. What does that mean? Like chronic problems that we deal with every year that, take the lives of innocent people that are just trying to get to their destination. And so these programs that I manage, they are meant to address our systemic problems. So in the crash statistics, we saw that intersections had a large amount of fatal and severe crashes. So I have an intersection program where we're going through like over 20 a year easily, including signalized and unsignalized, to retrofit them, make them safe. So that looks like LPIs if it doesn't have it, no right turn on red signage and blank out signs if applicable, shorting the crossing distance. In all of my projects that are corridor, like PED safety corridor, bike network safety projects, and Vision Zero corridors, it's mandatory to reduce the posted speed limit on these projects, the corridor projects. So we're winning there because the safe systems approach, right, is how we work together to achieve Vision Zero. It says that you should reduce posted speed. So that's the best, safest way to do it. And those are the updates I have today for us. HSIP, you could weigh in, please.
Abigail, I have a question for you.
Sure. Emily, you have the floor.
For your Safe Streets for All grant, is Manhattan one of the streets that you are including in that? Manhattan
Yes.
Avenue.
Yes.
And are you then participating in the TPO study on that corridor, which includes part of the
Yes.
sites? Okay.
Yes.
And will that be taken into account on your design process?
It's not going to be completed in time to include in the design because we're designing it right now, like in series together. It just happened.
Okay. Are you going to be
that way.
doing any community engagement through that for Manhattan
Yes.
Avenue? Okay.
Yes. Can we talk offline so I can share? Well, the community engagement group for Hillsborough County is managing the community engagement. So if you'd like information, I can get information from those folks. We can
Yeah, that would
talk
be great
offline.
because
Okay.
I know there's not been any community engagement yet, so would like to see some.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Good morning. So,
Morning.
this is on HSIP, of course. So while last year's applications on bright sticks and LED stop signs, RFB, speed feedback signs are being reviewed and funded, I have been getting calls from some cities and counties contacting me for new applications. And I realized that the point of contact for HSIP and Safe Routes to School have changed. So I am sending out emails to cities and counties asking for new points of contacts. If there are new, if there are the same people, if you could confirm. And we're making a new list just to make sure that we're working with everyone and we're not leaving out anyone. Because staff have changed roles and responsibilities. So again, City of Tampa, Plant City, Temple Terrace, Hillsborough County, please send me your point of contact for Safe Routes to School and HSIP. And if they need any help with the new with filling out new applications. A big shout out because Emma told me too that there is good funding available for Safe Routes to School. So now is the time to put in an application for Safe Routes to School. And again, we'll be there to help you out, as you put in the application. And as always, I'll be available to help out and I'll be sending some emails your way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mashid. Appreciate the update. So community organizations, Renton, Cutter.
Yeah, so we had a very busy March with Bike Month. So we had our Bike with the Temple Terrace Mayor, our Bike to Work Day in downtown Tampa. Both of those were well-attended events. probably about 75-ish at Temple Terrace, and I want to say maybe over 100 at the downtown Tampa one. And we also had our Michael Schwade Bicyclist of the Year award presentation ceremony at Cutter on the 17th. And those of you who don't know Michael Schwade, he was a cyclist advocate who was on, he spoke to Hillsborough BPAC before, and we had a ride on campus and a little presentation ceremony. The awardee this year was Brent Buffington, who serves on both the Temple Terrace and the Hillsborough County BPACs. And we're going to end our month with Walk Like Mad on Friday night at USF campus.
Where are you guys walking to, Brenton?
It's just a little 1 mile walk around the campus. The location is sort of on the western side of campus near like the Beard Garage. If you've ever been to the campus, it's kind of close-ish to Cutter. There's a big open field there where there'll be all sorts of vendors set up. We'll have an education table there with FDOT. And it starts at 4 p.m. and ends at 8:30. And not sure if anyone on MAD is on the call to say more about that.
So if
Yes,
if a group
I'm here. I can always count on you, Brenton, to plug our event. So I appreciate that. Did you have more you needed to say, Brenton?
I did not, but Jason had his hand up.
Okay.
Oh yeah, sorry. I guess it's next Tuesday is the start of Distracted Awareness Month, a Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and we have a Distracted Driving Outreach Program. It's the Florida Department of Transportation Outreach Program, and it's just in the Tampa Bay area. So if you know of any events we can table, that'd be great. Just let me know. So we're happy to do that throughout the month of April in the Tampa Bay area, and the program goes through, our outreach program goes through September. So we have plenty of time to plan other events too in the area.
Great, thank you, Jason. Mad.
Thanks again, Brenton. The first thing I was going to talk about was our walk this Friday. Hope that we see a lot of you there. Many people in this group do participate, so it looks like it's going to be nice weather. I'm excited about that. It's a fun event in the evening at USF, so even if you're not going for your role here, come out and join us. We'd love to have you there. So that's the first thing. I do the prevention and outreach in the area, and continuing to do what I normally do with education for impaired driving and underage drinking and drug use prevention. Been in a lot of the schools. I work with the juvenile court. I've actually got a class tonight with juvenile court to talk with them. So just doing our normal day-to-day. We had a little shift over the past couple months for our victim advocacy. One of the victim advocates that's been here has taken over Hillsborough County. So she's Pam Kelshaw. She's working on that for our Hillsborough County victims to work with them. And we have our annual law enforcement recognition event that happens over the summer. It's statewide, but the nominations for that are open right now. I'm going to put the information in the chat. And that is for everybody here, because you can nominate law enforcement, you can nominate people do civil work that help to fight impaired driving, organizations, community organizations, anyone who's working to help fight impaired driving. So I ask all of you to take a look at those nomination forms and think about who you work with or who you know that is working hard to prevent impaired driving, because we'd love to get nominations. We're kind of competitive around the state of who gets the most nominations, different areas. And our regional director is the Tampa executive director. So he always wants us to have the most. So please take a look at that and nominate, because there are people that every one of you work with that this could apply to. So I'd love for you to take a look at that. And I think that's all I have right now for this group. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeannie. Miss Emily with Sidewalk Stompers, please.
Hi, we have a new partnership with Temple Terrace Elementary, and they have the police department assisting with a walking school bus for one walk to school event per month, and that'll be their second one on this coming Friday. So we're excited to be partnering with them in addition to our other partnerships around the county. We did recently complete another of our street mural projects in the city of Tampa at Mabry Elementary with a partnership with Mabry PTA. These murals went in areas that are no parking areas because they, if you park there, you're blocking crosswalks and you're blocking walking routes. So these murals were designed to help highlight that those are no parking areas, and they have definitely in some of the locations seen some real improvements of safe spaces for kids to be walking and biking. That's what I have for Sidewalk Stompers, and then for Walk Bike Tampa, planning is underway for World Car Free Day Tampa 2025. That will be September 20th. We have a new full partner organization this year, Tampa General, through their Tampa Well program, will be a partner with us, along with, again, City of Tampa and Pedal Power Promoters, West Shore Alliance, and Tampa Downtown Partnership. So excited to see this project grow. If you are interested in participating in this event, or if you have any interest in sponsoring this event, we would love to be have you be a part of our organization. Thanks.
Emily, for that Car Free Day, should they contact you if they want to do a booth? So you have like 3 or 4 locations, right? Or hubs, and but there's a lot of tabling at these locations. Is that right, Emily?
There is some tabling, yes. So we have that at our 3 primary locations, one in downtown, one in Ybor City, and one in Midtown. There are additional bike routes coming from Hyde Park, Seminole Heights, Woodland Terrace, and then there'll probably be some new ones coming in this year as well. So yes, tabling is available, participating in rides and various other projects along the routes. And they can contact me directly for
so they
Walk
could
Bike Tampa.
potentially have like a AAA sponsored ride, or right, that are occurring all different times of
Yes,
the day.
we have had different groups choosing to participate as a ride, and then others that have chosen to have a table, others that come in with sponsorships to have their name put on the entire project. So there's all sorts of different levels and different opportunities. So just if whatever you'd like to do, reach out to me and we'll see what we can figure out to make you a part of this event. It grew a lot from our first year to the second year, and so far the third year is looking to be even bigger.
Yeah, so you have walkers, bikers, you have all ages, people, there's kids on training wheels, like going through that beautiful Cass Street City of Tampa facility.
Yes,
so
we will be
all
holding
ages.
The second annual Kiddical Mass Ride through Sidewalk Stompers will also be a part of World Car Free Day.
It's a big event. You probably had what, like 400 riders last time, or there was hundreds, right, Emily?
I don't know the number off the top of my head. I do know that the Cass Street bike ped counter that's located on the Cass Street Bridge showed almost a double number of Sunday riders for the event.
Right. Great for the environment, great for the mental health. Thank you, Emily, for the work that you do with Sidewalk Stompers. Emily also partners with Hillsborough County she attends she's a member of the PAC, Project Advisory Committee for our Safe Routes to School projects. So she comes in and gets schools, encourages schools to allow their students to walk and bike, and to participate with Sidewalk Stompers to give prizes to walkers and such. So shout out, and also Hillsborough County Sheriff Office, crossing guards, and the transportation unit. Thank you for attending the PAC meetings and being a very valuable member of the PAC meetings for the Safe Routes to School. We need your input to make better projects. And with that, Walk Bike Tampa, you did give their update, right? Okay, great. So we're ready to move on to, we don't have follow-up items, but we will possibly next month. The presentation, Jason, you're on deck, please.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm going to set up, I have a quick presentation on, let me look for it. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, thank you all for having me present this today. This is the Tampa Bay Community Safety Academy. It's a Florida Department of Transportation District 7 program. It's a pilot program. Very excited to get this rolling. Yeah, it's really interesting to partner with some of the people on this call for this program, and actually with other CTSTs in the region too. It's again just getting started with this. It's very exciting. It is basically a virtual program for citizens in the community in the Tampa Bay area. It's fully synchronous course. It's a fully virtual synchronous course, which means it's not like a hybrid or someone just presenting and there's no interaction with the attendees. It's basically like we have a host, we're presenting safety information that's going on in District 7 on different topics, and we get to talk to the participants, we get to have interaction with the participants, and that's what makes it a synchronous course. It's real time between the participants, the facilitators, and presenters. We might have some guest presenters, but depending on the software selected, the sessions may be recorded, and I believe they will be recorded. And when they're recorded, it makes it more and gives it an option to watch it later for those that can't attend. So it's very flexible as a course for the community in the District 7 region. And unfortunately, there's no hybrid option, so there's no option to go in person. This is fully virtual, and it's based on all the safety initiatives that are happening, not only locally, but around the state and actually around the country, just to introduce safety to citizens of the Tampa Bay area. This is all based off of a US DOT program, part of the National Institute for Congestion Reduction, or NICER. It was housed at Qatar at University of South Florida, and as part of the National University Transportation Center, the UTC. We were able to have a program that developed a virtual citizens guide to academies. So we have best practices we've learned over the years that we are going to implement with the new Community Safety Academy in District 7. So we have a lot to work with and a lot to learn too, as you know, the actual citizens course that we did with the NICER program, that was more focused with the city of Tampa. This is more of a broad program within District 7. So very excited because there was a big need and big call for more people to attend these courses. And unfortunately, with the NICER program, we can only focus in the city of Tampa area, but this is all throughout District 7. So I think people will be really happy that they can attend these courses now. This is our project team, myself and Tia Boyd. We did work together on the NICER project for the Citizens Project. So again, we're very excited to get started with this and get the word out. There's a lot of legwork to be done to get us going, and before we start the program. Our project objectives for the Tampa Bay Community Safety Academy: engage community members in FDOT District 7, empower participants to become safety ambassadors. So while they are learning for the first time some of the safety initiatives and learning different crashes and crash types. We want them to advocate too and be an ambassador for safety in their community. And since we're really calling out for all counties within District 7, we're not just focusing on, community members in Pinellas or Hillsborough. We want, all members represented from each county within District 7. So that's going to be the other thing is, we will have to cap it off at some point as far as the participants. But again, it's to enhance awareness on safety initiatives nationally, statewide, and district specific in District 7. Again, the course development, it is going to take time to build that up, and we're doing that as we speak. We're going to create a course syllabus. There will be 6 modules with 6 different topics each week. So it'll be a 6-week program. We'll have weekly agendas, and it'll be on a virtual platform again. So it'll be virtual. It'll be very flexible. And again, we enjoyed the last effort we did with the NICER program. So it's very nice that we can bring this to District 7 for the community to learn more about safety initiatives. My big ask here is that we do need to focus test this. And what we're going to do is maybe get a group of CTST members within the CTSTs in District 7 and kind of focus test the program within 6 weeks. So if you're interested, drop a message in the chat and we can put you on the list to be a part of the focus testing, because we want to make this good. We want to make it fun and interactive and something that the community members will remember and be happy that, hey, I was a part of something and I'm now an ambassador for safety. There will be a course registration. I guess the tagline is it's free. It's a free virtual safety course. I think with all the transportation going on in not only the state but District 7, I think it's a hot topic and people want to learn more about what's going on with transportation and specific to safety. It will be an online registration only. The window is to be determined, but it'll be closer to the fall. We're looking at a fall rollout for this project or program. We're looking at, unfortunately, capping off the participants at 35. And the reason why we're doing this is because it is an interactive program and we want to have discussions. We want to have a good Q&A session. If we have 100 people in the room, it's less interactive and less personable. So we want to make it fun and, again, memorable for everyone. And these are for community members in District 7 again. Here are some of the topics we're going through with our modules for each of the 6 weeks. These are kind of to be determined. We're still working on the modules right now, but for each week, this is what we're looking at. As you can see, for the first week to start off, we're going to jump right into Target Zero and Safe System Approach. And I think that's really going to bring people to the table and bring more interest for the following weeks. We will evaluate the program. We'll start the evaluation or surveying the participants through the registration process. So when they register, we'll have a ton of questions for them. We are still undecided if we're going to survey each week. I think we might do this for the focus test group just because it might be too much to answer questions each week, especially if it's like, right afterwards. But we will definitely do a post-course questionnaire. But that's still undetermined. We're going to decide that pretty soon. And we might decide that with the focus group, hey, would you want to provide some feedback? And I would imagine they would want to provide feedback after each module, what they learned or what they would have liked to know more. So, but all this will go into the final report at the end of the program. But that's it. That's kind of a snapshot of the Tampa Bay Community Safety Academy. If you have any questions, just let me know. Or if you want to be involved with the focus group, we'd love to have you. But if you have any questions, let me know.
Awesome. Thank you, Jason. Any questions from the CTST?
Yeah, this is Jim Reiser,
Jim.
B7LEL. Can you Can Lori send out a link to the people that might want to be in the focus group? I know a couple people that might want to put their names in. It might be something appropriate. So if they could either, email that to the addresses in the group, that would be great. So we can, try and assist them getting that off the ground.
Yes, I could work to put together an e-blast to get sent out to the group on it.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Thank you.
Jason, I had a question. Is it first come, first serve?
I'd say sort of, because if it's 35 people from Pinellas County, we don't want that. We want it definitely spread out through all the counties. We want community members who are unfamiliar with safety too. We don't really want anyone who's just well versed and just sitting there to be there. We want someone that just is going to take a lot from this and learn something. And then now we have a new advocate or an ambassador locally. So yeah, and then we'll have like guests too. If someone wants to sit in, that's maybe part of the CTST, and that's fine too. But I think for the majority, week to week, we want to have the same group, 35 people, capped off, and yeah.
How many hours per week? Is it one meeting for an hour a week?
Yes. So with the NICER project, it was called TBCAT, that was 2 hours. And the only reason that was 2 hours was because we had guest speakers. And those guest speakers would speak for 15 minutes each. And then we'd have a Q&A session. So it would take about 2 hours. At this point, we are presenting Tia and I are presenting the information ourselves. So we're looking at 1 hour. I think 1 hour is sufficient to get through the messaging, talk about the safety initiatives, and then answer any questions. So we don't want to hold anybody up for 2 hours. But I remember those 2 hours went pretty fast too. So I think we might have to look at that during the focus group. But I would like to just stick with 1 hour.
Okay, so the group could potentially recommend either staff or community members to participate in this. Is that what you're looking for from us? Great.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So thanks for that update. Fantastic. Do we have any announcements? I know we've been making them as we go along, but any ones we missed? All right. Action items. We're not voting on anything today. So our next meeting is April the 23rd. In person. I want to see you guys. Haven't seen you in a minute. Everybody had spring break and vacations. So April 23rd to be determined, somewhere in Florida.
we
Tampa.
need to figure out a location for the next meeting.
All right. And the theme of the meeting is spring showers. So wear your pink. So I already got started on you guys. So if there's no comments, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I think a couple people had their hands raised. Fred
Sorry
Baxter.
about that. Okay, let's call on him. Fred.
Yeah, so I had one more thing to bring up. So US 92 down towards County Line Road, really the stretch mainly between like North Wilder Road and just, I guess it would be just east of Wiggins Road. Over the past years, we've had a lot of incidents occur down at this stretch of roadway. I have brought up things about lighting and such along this stretch of roadway. It's a 2-lane road, very dark, a lot of high speeders going down this area. But over the past few years, there have been numerous pedestrian fatalities along this stretch of roadway. One just occurred just a couple weeks ago. So I kind of went and I can't confirm how accurate these numbers are, but I just pulled some raw numbers off of the crash data management system, and I'm showing roughly in this stretch about over the past 4 years about 150 plus crashes along this segment. About 9 or so are pedestrian related. And then the thing that stands out the most is 106 of these incidents were nighttime related, with the main contributing factor is no lighting. So this is out of our city limit, but that doesn't mean that Plant City would not want to have some kind of contribution or be involved in discussions. But I think it warrants, a collaboration with Hillsborough County and FDOT to see what we can do, as opposed to having some lighting installed at this segment. I went out, I rode it once at night. It's very dark, no lighting anywhere. But the thing is, there's utility poles roughly about every 50 feet along this stretch of road. I don't think it would be a hard task really to coordinate with Tico and have some lighting installed at some of these poles. Um, I don't know who would be the point of contact with Hillsborough County. I wish Peter was on the meeting today, because I know he would probably have some interest in it. Um, this has been an ongoing situation for this stretch of roadway, and I think now it's time where we can see if we can get some people together and start having some discussion to come up with a resolution.
Okay, I can drop that contact for Hillsborough County in the chat here. Do you you've worked with Mike Flick before?
Oh yeah, I've worked with Mike Flick quite a bit in the past.
Okay, he's the contact for the lighting. If you want to reach out to him and let him know that that a meeting is being requested with FDOT, the county, and Plant City.
Okay.
And Fred, I'll talk to some of the folks in our office and see if maybe this has come up on anybody's radar, or if we've looked at it, doing any safety studies or lighting studies on this corridor, and we'll definitely follow back up with you and see what we can do.
Okay. All right, that's all I had.
All right, Jim. His hand may be up previously. We
I'm
have
sorry.
Michael.
Yeah, that was from
Oh,
before.
okay.
You guys can go
Okay.
on. Thanks.
All right, thanks. Michael. You're muted if you're talking.
Can you hear me, Abigail?
Yes, we can.
Hi, Michael Taylor from the Hillsborough Emergency Medical Planning Council and Trauma Agency. So I'm kind of the emergency medical services, the EMS guy. Just throwing out there, I need to get a hold of whomever in Hillsborough County and whomever in the city of Tampa applied for the Safe Streets and Roads for All, the SS4 grants, the Safe Streets for All grants. Those grants have been out for 3 years now. We're going into the 4th year. And nationwide EMS hasn't really applied for them because it falls under the post-crash care category, and there wasn't a lot that EMS knew they could apply for. The feds finally did a webinar last week explaining to EMS what exactly the money can be applied for. So now that the feds have made it make sense 3 years into the grant process, I'd like to see about applying for a grant for a Safe Streets for All grant under the category of post-crash care. And but that's going to require me to work with those in Hillsborough and Tampa that have already received the grant, because I need their guidance on how to apply for the grant, and also what they've already done with their grants to go from there. And so if anybody knows who in Hillsborough County and City of Tampa handled those grants, I'd appreciate the contact, and need it kind of soon because the grant notice of funding is supposed to open the end of March here, and we are at the end of March. So if anybody can help me out, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, well, this is Abigail, Hillsborough County. That my team applied for the grant, but I don't know that we could definitely, share what our strategy was, but I'm not familiar with the post-care crash. So we could talk offline if you want to give me an email or send me an email. We could talk offline with how we could support.
All right, I'll give you a holler, Abigail. Thank you.
All right, sure. All right, so thanks for those last updates. I think we're nearing 11 o'clock. So if there's nothing else, do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Yes.
I motion. Motion.
Great. So we do adjourn the meeting, and I'll see you April 23rd. We're going to send out an email where the location is, but keep it on your calendar. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.